Yeah, we'll do that. All right. Welcome, everyone, to another session of Investing with Tony C. This is Matt Roseman of Roseman and Company LLC. Again, along the series of the business of you. So, thanks for joining. Thanks for listening in. And so today we wanted to talk some more about investing. We wanted to talk to Tony and get an update on what he's seeing in the market these days. We want to talk a little bit about cryptocurrency and get some thoughts from him on that. But again, thanks again for tuning in, and we'll go ahead and kick it off. So, hey, good morning, Tony.
Good morning, and good morning to everyone out there. It's a pleasure to be on again and be able to talk again about what's happening in the markets, and also touch a little bit more on the cryptocurrency, and hopefully that the information we give you will be very helpful in your success with investing.
All right. So Tony, I'll just kind of bring it from my perspective, just because I've recently, gotten more into the market with some of my IRA or whatever, and just made some moves and different things, and I guess right now, what do you see the market doing, and is it a good time still to get into the market is probably my first question.
Well, I would say yes, it's always sort of a good time to get in the market, but I would say the recent market fall, I know we have been trained to, when we see red, that things is all bad. But I would say that the time where the market was going down and we had a massive sell-off in the market, a lot of your high growth companies were just selling off, man. But the April numbers were very good for us, earnings season. And we really couldn't understand how the markets operate sometimes, but it just had a massive sell-off on great quality stocks and companies. And so that was a perfect time when you see that red, is what they say. When you say you smell blood, that was a great opportunity to get in and find some great value in some very, very good companies that had great earnings that you could have bought some stock in, and held some stock in some valuable companies. And in the future, I mean, you probably will be very happy, with that. So right now, Friday was a pretty good day in the market. The market's turned back around and start going back up. But I still believe there's plenty of room to grow right now, especially with the feds is still in it. We still got money that's still circulating in it. We still got zero interest rate. People are afraid of inflation. That's another reason. People are afraid of corporate taxes going up, how that's going to look. But right now, I would say it's still a game to get in. It's still a game to get in. And I still believe that a lot of those stocks are still at great value. So right now, I would say, yes, it's still room to get in. It's still time to get in.
Okay. All right. Well, one of the things that you taught me, and this is a good reason why it really takes kind of the village to raise a family. Like no one knows everything, right? And even though I have even a finance background, from an educational standpoint, and even from a working in the field corporately, there was just some things that from an investing standpoint that I didn't know, or that I wasn't familiar with. And one of the things that you kind of told me is like, look, when it goes down, that is not the quote unquote time to jump off. Now maybe if it goes down a large amount or something like that, or but you even like 10% or whatever, that really is the time to buy more, especially like you said, if you see the fundamentals are out there and the company is still a good company, then a lot of what you're seeing is emotional reaction, right?
Right.
And so that's what I did. Like Ford, I think I had Ford, and Ford, it went down, and I lost some money, and then I was like, well, I could either pull it all out, or I can go buy some more. And by me buying more, when it did come back up, even though it didn't come back up to what it was before, because I bought more, I wind up making my money back. And so again, it's that mindset that
Yes.
when you're looking at a good company, a company that or you really believe is going to come back, it really isn't a time to sell. It really isn't time to jump off the bandwagon, because then when you lose that money, right,
Right.
you like, oh man, and you get more gun shy, and you're like, I can't, uh, and again, it's not for the faint of heart, right? Losing that money is not for the faint of heart. You talked about that. You got to be comfortable with that.
Well, and to as we started off this journey talking about investing, one thing we did bring up is the mindset of an investor and a trader.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point in time, when you find solid companies like that, Matt, and you said Ford went down and you had to make a decision, and you said, okay, I'll get more, and then it came back up. Well, that's the investor mindset, because you're looking to hold on to that stock for the future, or
Right.
maybe 5 years or more. That's not a trader mindset where you're just trying to buy something and you flip something. So most folk come in this thing with a trader mindset.
Right.
You know, remember, when you're an investor, you're looking at, like you said, a company that has solid fundamentals that you can invest in. So when you see that company that you research and you're saying this is a solid company and it dropped, it's like you start smiling, because in your heart
Mm-hmm.
you say, I know that this is a good company.
Right.
And I don't see the reason altogether why this happened,
Mm-hmm.
but it's happening. And there's a lot of different elements that can cause the market to do whatever. But
Yep.
right there, that company right there is the company that I looked into. And I believe that in the future that this company is going to continue to grow. And then, yes, hey, here I am. I'm going to buy it. It's red, but I'm going to go ahead and get it. And so, like you said, we have to train our minds to be think different.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, when things are green, we're loving it because yes, we're earning. But at the same time, that red can give us the opportunity to start getting into the market and getting some pretty decent company. So if we thought that way, and like they said, buy the dip, or we do the dollar cost averaging,
Yep.
just keep buying over time consistently. And when you hit some of them dips, man, and that company turn back around, you'll be happy with the results that you do have.
Yeah.
Plus, Matt, with other people, what you got to understand is, hey, if I'm buying it in the red, or I'm just buying this first stock that I research and I love, and it was really good, but it dropped for some reason, and I really believe in this stock, and I'm just getting in. Look at your basis point or your entry level that you got it at.
Right.
I mean, you could get a pretty good entry level getting in, at a pretty decent company that, hey, maybe months ago it was like, I can't even touch this, man. It's too high.
Yep.
But now you entered in at a good level with the potential of that company growing again to that level, and probably passing that level because you held on to it long term as an investor. So I mean, it's a beautiful thing if you train your mind to think of things different.
Yeah. So I mean, to that point, I did take your advice, in the sense. Again, we're not advising anybody on stocks or
Right.
anything, but one of Tony's favorite stocks is Tesla. And I kind of been avoiding it to a certain extent, and especially with the 650 to 700 range or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And I was just like, well, I mean, right now I can't afford it. I got it in other
Right.
stuff and all of that. But one of the things that I decided to do was like, okay, well, I talked about diversifying on here before, and
Mm-hmm.
I had taken it out of a couple of other companies, and just bought some more Ford, and then I was like, well, you know what? Let me diversify a little bit more. Let me go back and
Yeah.
if I can grab a couple of, or a Tesla or two or something like that. Let me see if
Mm-hmm.
I can do that. So again, I mean, it was one of those dips. It's like, okay, Tesla didn't change really from yesterday or last week to this week, right?
Right.
And now they're down 120 over the last 2 weeks or something, right? And it's like, well, yeah, let's go back into it, because I know that I mean, let me get into it, because I know that they are an innovative company. They're up and coming. Actually, not up and coming. They're a $500 billion company or something like that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they outweigh all of the OEMs, automotive OEMs, when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to stock price or value. So I was like, yep, let me just go ahead and get it. And again, to your point, I mean, it went up yesterday, and it was just like, nothing really changed. Still a good company, and so that's a good stock to buy, right? So again, I'm starting to get that mindset, Tony. That don't just jump scared. One quick example. So I had another stock
Mm-hmm.
that I did kind of run scared from, right? It went down maybe 20%, something like that. Um, and I was like, well, let me just pull out, I'm gonna just take out. And so, I took it out, and then sure enough, a week, maybe not even a week, it was back up that 20%, right? So it's just like I lost my money, but then somebody gained on that, right? And so it's like
Right.
you really kind of you gotta have that mindset of an investor, not running around like a trader trying to get the quick money or anything like that. Because if you don't have the big money to do
Right.
that type of trading, then you're gonna
Right.
lose out. So.
And let's while we at it, so let's kind of clarify what we're talking about under the guidelines of a person being able to be a trader
Mhm.
or a day trader.
Right.
Um, and I like to put this out here because, hey, we want people to understand when people put out videos and say, hey, I made this in minutes and I did this in a while, and if you are a trader or in trader mode, then what you're looking at is being able to hold an account balance at least $25,000 in order to day trade.
Mhm.
I recommend if you are going to day trade that you hold a little bit more than 25,000 in there, just in case the value of that account drops. And now they're saying, "Uh oh, you better catch this account up again, or you're not able to be recognized as a day trader."
Mhm.
And so that right there gives you the ability to buy and sell stocks past the three day trades you get a week when you just originally open up an account.
Mhm.
And so that's how people can buy and sell stock whenever they want to. The more, I would say, liquid you have in those accounts makes things better because you're able to purchase more and sell more, when that stock goes up.
Mhm. Right.
So I wanted to clarify that because lots of times you hear all these stories of I made this in minutes and I did it, and that's fine. We're
Yep.
not saying that's not can't happen, but you have to have the money to play that type of game.
Right.
Okay, that is a highly volatile game to play too. You
That's
know,
right.
so you gotta be careful with even doing that. Really doing your research and studying or finding things to get out because you can also lose money in that game. But I just want to put that out there because a lot tells you lots of times we just think that hey we got in we flipped we made this. No, if we can get to an account whether it's 25 grand in stock or 25 grand in liquid in your account or it's half in stock and half in the liquid. As long as it's 25 grand, you do have the ability to day trade. Okay, so I want to put that out there, you know. But the wise, and most people do day trade, but lots of times it's good if you can day trade, but you also hold on to stock that's long term that you really like. You
Right.
know what I mean? So you still my recommendation, in my opinion, still have the investor mindset with some of your stock that you're buying, and then some stock you may just want to day trade and make a couple of dollars if you're holding a day trade account.
All right. Yeah, man. Like I say, I'm trying to get to that level. But to your point, it's something to kind of do. But again, talking about risk, you do it, but you don't use all your
Mm-hmm.
money to do it, right?
Right.
Just because you're supposed to have that 25K, you don't want to be day trading with 25K, because then
Right.
you know you can really get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Again, So, but you do use it so you can go ahead and kind of be able to make those quick intraday decisions, and get a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more. But again, you got to diversify that risk, and so like you say, you still got your biggest pot is your long-term investments, the companies you
Yes.
believe in, and where
Yes.
they're going. um, all right. So, anything else that you have for us for in terms of some of the more recent things that's going on? I know you mentioned that. Well, let me say this. You mentioned about a lot of things affect stocks, and I think that's a good point for people to understand is that literally a company, to your point, could come out and say we had record sales, we had record numbers, and record revenue, and their stock could go down, and
Right.
you're sitting there like, well, what
What?
happened? I thought, let's go through some of them. So one of them that, and you can bring up some as well, one that I know is that um stock stocks, even though stocks are independent of analysts, analysts have a lot to do with
Yes.
how people look at them, and whether they rise or fall. So if an analyst came in and said, hey, I think they're going to make so much money, and I think they're going to do this and that, if it doesn't live up to the analyst's expectations,
Right.
that stock will possibly go down, because people basically have been trading on the analyst expectations. And if it
Mm-hmm.
comes in lower, even if it's record, even if it sounds great, that stock price can go down. So like you said, inflation, like why inflation? I mean, I don't necessarily. I mean, that's one of those that might be a little bit, deep in financial theory. But
Mm-hmm.
what is inflation? How about say what is inflation?
Well, everybody is worried about things going up. You're having demand with lack of products.
Right.
When you're talking about the tech world, you got the lack of semiconductors out here
Yep.
that's
Yep.
affecting the tech world. You got possible reopening. We've been dealing with a pandemic and still dealing with it today, where if things reopen, everybody is looking to come out and spend their money.
Yep.
Prices going up on things.
Yep.
Then you try to worry about how do you deal with inflation. Some folks see it as being bad. Some folks see it as being good.
Mm-hmm.
You got the feds involved in that. How do they deal with inflation? Um, Looking at the jobs report deals with the market also.
Yep. Yep.
How our jobs going, because that's going to determine sometime how the Fed is going to respond. Then you turn around and you look at bills being passed by our government. Uh, we're talking about now an infrastructure bill that they're
Mm-hmm.
debating right now. How we're going to do that to build up American infrastructure. How are you going to pay for these bills? We're going to tax the wealthy, the millionaires, the billionaires. What about corporate gain taxes? Um,
Yep.
what are you talking about? Taxes when you're making your money. Say you're making your money, you trading stocks, you're making money. That tax may go up higher
Mm-hmm.
for capital gains.
Yep.
Um, so with so many things that's being involved that pull the market everywhere,
Yep.
and it's hard to predict because everybody has a storyline.
Yep.
Everybody has a storyline to try to roll with this scenario. And it's like, dude, it's hard to put your finger. Yes, all these things are going to play a role, but it's hard to put your finger sometime on one thing that's going to affect the market. So the combination of all those things that I mentioned, kind of bothers the market. The
Mm-hmm.
uncertainty is one thing that will bother the market. Something that's uncertain. When you're uncertain about something, a lot of people may snatch their money out. They're like,
Yep.
"Whoa, I don't know what's going on. I snatch their money out." But I will say this: the issue with that is uh, those who are able to play the game, who have money, they can play that game all day long. If you have millions, it's kind of like, well, I made a profit on some of these companies already. I can hold a
Right.
couple million here, still play the game. But the average person can't play that game. They be like, oh, they getting hurt.
Yeah.
When I can sit back and live a comfortable life and I still got money, it's like I can let my money just sit there. If it happens, I bought it at a cheap price when it was red anyway. So I'm just sitting back, relaxing. If it drops cheaper, I got money to get back in, or I still can live the way I want to live and let it sit. And we know over a period of time that the market will start gaining again, and
Hmm.
I'll be back. I'll be back again. So the answer to the question is sometimes we really don't know. These are very a lot of different scenarios that's thrown out there, and and it throws the market everywhere.
Yep.
And it hurts us. So let's be prepared for understanding that. And that's why I say a long-term investor is better than a trader. If I would say that if you have the finances, I would say you can trade also, but the long term,
Yep.
of course, being an investor is great.
And that's really why during the pandemic, the rich got richer, right?
Yes.
Because exactly because of that reason, because they could play the long game while a lot of smaller investors was jumping ship. And
Uh-huh.
not to say that people couldn't or didn't need to jump ship because they had
Uh-huh.
to, for
Right.
whatever reason. But a
Or
lot of
took
people.
some profit.
Right, right, right.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of people jump ship because they got scared, and so
Uh-huh.
you just the investor mentality wins out in those instances. All right, so let's go ahead and get into a discussion about cryptocurrencies. I know that's
Oh yeah.
probably on a lot of people's minds with Bitcoin, Dogecoin. The person who did the Ethereum or whatever, is a
Uh-huh.
billionaire now.
Uh-huh.
It's a lot of money being in those things, and so just you know I well let me maybe start off with what a cryptocurrency is, and you can help me out
Uh-huh.
if I'm messing it up, but I try I try to study it from a technical standpoint, and
Yes.
and essentially, what this is. I mean, it's money, but it's digital money, right? And so there's always been a question about, well, how can it be secure if it's digital, right? How can somebody isn't all of that hackable and everything like that? But the, I guess, beauty of the cryptocurrency is that it was created so that essentially it's uncopyable,
Uh-huh.
and to the extent that um, it's uncopyable is that there are people, and I don't know if people have heard it in the news, but there are people who have lost their quote unquote password to get into their money, hundreds of millions, and
Uh-huh.
if they don't have the password, they can't get the money. It's not, again, it's almost like a sunken treasure, right? If you if you don't know where you put the treasure, or if you don't know where you hid the treasure, it's gone. So
Uh-huh.
in the same sense, cryptocurrency has every Bitcoin, every whatever unit of money has a history, has a past associated with it, so that it can't be copied, so it can't be anything like that. So that's why there is such a thing as digital currency. There is such a thing
Yes.
where you can take one Bitcoin, and that it's a legit Bitcoin or Dogecoin, and so that's the technical
Yes.
side of things. But essentially, because it's actual money, people can trade off of it, right?
Yes.
And just like the dollar, compared to other currencies, because everything is
Uh-huh.
kind of has to be compared to some, and
Yes.
most currencies are compared to the dollar, at least of course, in the United States. So
Right.
uh so when it comes to the dollar, how much a Bitcoin is worth right now, I think, where is it, Tony?
So
So
we should be around like $49,961 for Bitcoin,
one Bitcoin. Now
one coin.
imagine if you again bought 10, Bitcoins when it was, I don't know, $10 or $100.
Hmm.
It just astronomical. I mean, the people who sit there now looking at what they are worth because they bought it when it first came out, right? So Tony, what is your thoughts about this whole kind of fad? What should the people take out of it? I say fad. It's not a fad. This is
Right.
going to be around for for the duration probably.
I am a first of all, right now I see people as of right now holding cryptocurrency, um just like they were kind of almost hold gold right now.
Yeah, good
Um
good point. Good
Investing
comparison.
in gold.
Yeah.
But I do believe that cryptocurrency will be, it's already getting popular. And I do believe that it's going to continue to grow. You have multiple currencies coming out. Of course, Bitcoin is the most known one that's been out there.
Yeah.
The more that it get accepted by those who have big names, companies, if any other banking systems or start accepting these things and start rocking with those things, then uh, it's going to continue to rise. You have of course you have high celebrities or people of great status like Elon Musk, who talks about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. He mentioned not too long ago, and they said he made it go down. Dogecoin is one that they kind of tied to him making go up. But I think that this is the wave of the future. I do believe that we are in the infant stage of this whole thing. So even with Bitcoin, and in my opinion, even with Bitcoin being that pricey, I still believe it's at the baby stage because it's so much more room for it to grow, you know. And I do think it'll get more accepted by companies. Of course, the government is going to want to get involved in those things. Of course, that's going to happen. That would cause it to have a little issue with it. But uh, I would say, Matt, I think it's the future. I think we're going to go towards cryptocurrency. It's starting to get popular. People start to talk about it. People are investing in it. It's plenty of cryptocurrencies out here. Who's going to stay out there? Who's going to continue to grow? We know Bitcoin. We know Ethereum is out there. Cardona. We got
Dodge.
Doge out there, who's kind of like the one that, okay, we like it, but is it for real? Is it not for real? What's going on? But it started to get steam. If it start recognized, people start recognizing it more, getting into it. If other platforms start trading it, such as Coinbase, if they start trading, which I heard that they may start trading in a couple of months, oh man, these can start taking off really quick in the crypto world. I am a crypto investor, and I do invest in those cryptocurrencies with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin. I'm in some other ones that we'll see how those go. I heard of XRP, Ripple, those situations. Some of those that, but you can get hurt in those too. You
Mhm.
get hurt in the cryptocurrency world too. But I do say that I think it's the wave of the future. I am agreeing with your analogy on cryptocurrency and what you're talking about. I do support investing in cryptocurrency also. It's the new wave of the future. It's innovative, man. It's coming. So
Yeah.
it's in a baby stage. So
Well, and just like a baby has its ups and downs. I mean,
yes.
again, that there's a certain, we talk about risk all the time. The cryptocurrencies
Mm-hmm.
has more risk than say gold, than say the dollar or different things like that, because it is in the
Mm-hmm.
baby stages. Because so when you start to look into that now, I mean, if anybody's out there able to buy a Bitcoin, then you're definitely past what I can do. But there are baby even like Dogecoin, which is I think somewhere around
Mm-hmm.
50 to 60 cent right now. There are other opportunities out there, but understand it. We talk about it. Is there's risk, and with Bitcoin and those different things, the fluctuations are going to be a lot greater
Mm-hmm.
than say a stock or anything. But again, if you think about it, say a Dogecoin that was at 50 cent or maybe 40 cent before Elon Musk got talking about it, and then it jumped up to 70 right before his SNL skit,
Right.
and then it went down right after
Mm-hmm.
it. And then he came out and said, hey, I'm not going to accept Bitcoin for
Right.
Tesla, my Teslas anymore. And then that hit Bitcoin and probably
That hit
propped up
Bitcoin.
Dogecoin. you know
Yeah.
all of that stuff. It's going to move, it's going to do things. But if you get in to some of these in the early stages and act like an investor and say, hey, I'm gonna just sit on it. If
Mm-hmm.
in 10 years it's still worth 50 cent, then oh well, I didn't put a whole lot into it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you put in again a little now, and some of these things take off, then you might you be in a good situation. You just never know. And
You never
again,
know.
we talk about diversifying. If you're going to put something in something risky, make it a little bit, just dabble in it. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, because in any form you will be burnt. It really is like playing the lottery. In that point, when you start to just make big bets on one number, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
then that's when you can lose big. So that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about investing. We're talking about the long term. We're talking about understanding what's going on out there, because there's a lot going on out there, a lot of places you can put your money, but
Yes.
one of the worst places you can put it is under a mattress, right?
Right.
I mean, that's just reality. You want your money to work for you. That's the name of the game. That I mean, again, I shared early in the whole business review process that that's not even biblical. You put your money, when somebody places their money somewhere, they expect it to gain something. And
Mm-hmm.
so all we're saying is, own your money, own your investments, and you'll be fine. Don't be foolish.
Right.
Just have that right measure, a balance of risk across your portfolio. So that's all I had today. Tony, did you have anything else that you wanted to talk to the people about?
Um, I just want to say these last comments. I know we touched on crypto and we talked about how much one Bitcoin costs. And I want to clarify that's the price of one Bitcoin, but you can buy small pieces of the coin.
That's true.
So we don't want you thinking that man, I gotta for one coin. Yes, you can spend that much money if you got it and you're trying to do that. I mean, hey, but at the end of the day, you can buy small pieces of Bitcoin, Ethereum. A lot of these platforms allow for you to do that, and
Okay.
it is really cheap also to do it. I mean, if you say all I got is $10, then guess what? $10 is going to buy you a small piece of Bitcoin, or $50. So it's not like, oh man, I got to have hundreds of dollars to buy some. Not at all. It's very cheap. You
Okay.
can buy it consistently. You can say, I got $5 in my pocket today, and I'm going to go ahead and buy some Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, who's like you said, the high peak was 73 or 71 cent or something like that. I mean, stuff like that, you can kind of do that, and it won't really hurt your pockets to really buy stuff like that. Even with Bitcoin, it's not going to hurt your pockets to spend $10, $20 if you feel like it, and Ethereum and Cardona, a lot of these uh, coins out there. So we're not saying you have to spend 49, 50,000 for one coin. What we're saying is you do have the opportunity to buy small pieces of the coin, and when that coin does go up, uh, you're price or your money or what you invested in will go up also with it.
Right. Yep. Okay, that's a good point. I actually didn't think about that. I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
So no, that's cool. Yeah, again, you can get into it, and if you do, just understand what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing, understand the risk. But also, again, it's an investment. So look at it for a long term. Tony, is the three trades a day? I forget if we talked about that. Is that on cryptocurrency as well?
You know what? I haven't really checked it out on cryptocurrency as well.
I'm sorry, three
On the
trades a
platform,
week.
yeah, the three trades a week, far as buying and selling, or being able to day trade
Right,
3 times on the platforms. I haven't really went that direction with that yet, because I don't
right.
utilize it, with the cryptocurrency. I just do it with the buying stocks, so no, I haven't looked into that yet. If they would allow that, I assume that they may do that because you're still buying and selling.
Right.
But I haven't tried it yet to see if it did it with crypto.
Okay. All right. That might be something we have to get back to people on, or again, if you
Mm-hmm.
want, just Google it yourself. But all right,
Mm-hmm.
that's all we have for today. I want to thank everyone for again tuning in, and just look forward to keep on bringing you conversations that help you better your situation when it comes to investments
Yes.
and just overall the business of you. So thanks everybody. Thanks Tony. We appreciate you, man.
No
Um,
problem.
everyone have a blessed day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.